All right. So we're gonna refit another French light cruiser, but this one's gonna be a little bit bigger. This one we're gonna refit these talismans. We got four of them that we stole from the French. I mean, we liberated them, and so let's see what we can do with these guys. This is about the size as those armored cruisers we stole. I mean, liberated. And these have a lot
Acquired.
acquired. Yes. Uh, they've got a lot of these casemate guns. Doesn't look, kind of typical AI design. I'm sure it's somewhat realistic. I'm sure they had cruisers like this, but I don't know. I think we can do better. So let's go refit this. And once again, we want to make this thing our part of our small fleet. They have all these little 1.9s, huh? So I guess they maxed out all those casemates there. Well, what I think I'm going to do is, once again, we're just going to go for a fresh start. I mean, we could refit all this pretty quickly, but I don't mind taking my time on these, so we're just gonna go fresh start this. Go minimum crew, maximum draught. Now this one had maximum bulkheads, which was nice. We're gonna go 21 knots. This front tower, 1350 spotting. Let's try. Well, that's a very big front tower. This one's a much more reasonable front tower. Because if we go with this giant front tower, it eats up a lot of deck real estate, and I can't put any funnels inside of it. So it's basically, and that's a lot of eaten up deck real estate. I don't like that. So we're gonna go for the smaller front tower 3. It's not quite as good, but so we can either stick it back here, just too far back. So we'll have to put it like right there, probably. If we make the beam smaller, it still fits. Now, as far as guns on this thing, oh yeah, let's go get the tech we need. Do spoilers, the multiple expansion, unbalanced, hydraulic, good armor, reinforced bulkheads, flood, citadel, targeting, radio. That eats up a lot of tonnage right there. Now, I mean, the armor on this thing's surprisingly good for an AI build. If we go with a 5-inch gun, do these things get barbettes? We got the barbette there. We don't get it right there. We want our picric acid, because we're going to be going for just fire builds. And our flash fire chance here, 9.1. That's not bad, actually. Now, if we... And, let's see, what's the... We could have a range of 12 kilometers, which is nice. I mean, that's not bad. I think that's what we're doing with our other cruisers, but they get barbettes. Now, if we go to 5.1, now we can have barbettes up here, which will help a little bit against the flash fire. So we can do something like that, with our 12-kilometer range. Or if we do 4-inch guns, we'll stick you there for now, just for comparison. And he's got a 9.8, so 4-inch by 30. Or a 5" by 41. I mean, that's much better range. That's pretty good range. Or we could go with a 6" gun. That's a Mark II. And that 6" gun is pretty darn huge. And this puts our flash fire chance up to 13. This thing has a 14-kilometer range. Now, here's our dilemma. 6" gun definitely can have barbettes. It's going to be armored. If we look at the weight comparison, the 14" gun weighs very little. Now, it doesn't have any armor. If we were to add 2 inches of armor... Oops. I mean, if we add whatever armor we can, we get up to 15 tons. It is much, much lighter than the 5" gun. So, but it has a much shorter range. You know, less than 10 kilometers, we got 12 kilometers, and then we've got 14. I don't think we could put multiple 6" guns on here, because we're also limited a little bit by the weight. So let's table this for just a moment, and let's go check out these funnels. Now 2 funnels will give us the capacity we need. And we could just go with this like rear tower 1. This rear tower 4 has a 2 accuracy. That's a lot bigger. This doesn't even fit. That doesn't fit. That doesn't fit. Well, that doesn't really fit, does it? That's really annoying. But we could put it here for some reason. That's a little odd, but okay. I don't know why we can put it here. And that can't go any further back. That has to go right there. Now if we make the beam wider, it still won't let us put it any further back. So it's not a width problem. It'll let us put it... put it somewhere like that. So maybe what we do is we put a funnel here, and we put you there, and we put a funnel there. I mean, that's a little weird, but it's a French ship. So and as far as the secondary towers go, I mean, it's 1 extra accuracy. It's not really that big of a deal, and it's some tonnage, and it's a lot of space as well. You know, we could widen it up and try and fit more. You know, if we widened it up, let's say to here, well, that doesn't really want to fit back there, does it? We'd have to stick it right here. And so we're still kind of in the same predicament. So now it just comes down to how much deck real estate do we want to spend, and how fast do we want this thing to go. So let's compare, without any funnels, let's just compare speed. So at 21 knots, if we have the minimum beam, our available tonnage is about 1,230 tons, let's say. If we go big, our available tonnage is actually not that much less. I mean, this is only, you know, we've got 1,100 and change. And so maybe it's worth it to have the extra beam just to make it a little bit fatter and chunkier, to be able to hold more and be a little bit more resilient and have more invasion tonnage. Because that's adding a bit of invasion tonnage. Our range is not really affected. Well, our range goes way up when, look at that. We get a lot more range. Now, the other options, we go like 22 knots. That gives us, a lot more. We can go 22 knots and be a lot faster for not that much extra tonnage. We're only, what, 2,400 tons? We're getting an extra 200 tons, basically. Now, we can't do that, but I mean, we could go 22 knots, and that would be pretty solid. 20. Now, a lot of our cruisers so far we've been doing at 21 knots, so that works out. You know, that works out pretty well. So, other than the speed, so we can adjust the speed, tweak the speed up or down. You know, 22 knots would be a nice. And then we lose some engine efficiency. We could go with a. You know, we could go with a bigger funnel. It doesn't really seem to help that much. So I think we're going to keep it at 21 for now, because that's probably fast enough. And let's go with the small secondary tower right here. And the other funnel. So if we want to go with 6-inch guns, which might be a little bit much, we could stack. Oh, we can't get a barbette up here. There's not enough. There's not enough room to put a barbette here. So that's going to be a big limitation. And we can't really get a barbette in the back either. So we could do. Oh, that's weird. It's not going to let us. We're going to have some weird boat problems. So we could do a we might have to do a barbette just to be able to shoot over the stupid boats. So we do something like this. You know, if we want like 3 big guns, which but realistically, our main target with these are going to be the enemy light ships. So we could do the big guns, but maybe that's not the best idea. You know, the flash fire chance, 13%, that's not bad. I mean, it's really not. And these things will have a rockin' range. You know, 11 kilometers, and if we increase the gun barrel length, I mean, we got 14-kilometer range, which is very respectable. Kind of a slow rate of fire. Now, these things really want to have like all of their casemate guns, which we could stack those up, and you know, these things have almost a 10-kilometer range. I mean, that's not bad. And maybe we have to use a bunch of these just for splatting little ships. We could put 4-inch guns here on the sides, and that might be what we end up doing. Maybe we just stack this thing up with a bunch of 4-inch guns, because if we stack this guy up, with the long barrel 4-inch guns. We can go 1. We can get 2 4-inch guns here in the front. And let's find the spot. There we go. We can put 2 in the back. Now right here we're kind of stuck. I could put 1 of those there. So we could have a 4-inch gun there and a 4-inch gun, oops, there. Just to be able to shoot over these stupid boats. I mean, we could also try to have, try to put secondaries here along the side. And that might not be such a bad idea. And so we could look at moving this tower, or moving the funnel back, and then going with the bigger secondary tower. But then we have to widen the ship again, and then we lose a lot of range. And right now range is important because we're having trouble fueling up. So we could do that. And we might be able to put some, we could put like some secondary guns right here, let's say. Which I don't know if that's something I really want to do or not. I mean, I could. It's not going to hurt. Or I could try to put one in the middle. If I tried to stick some more 4-inch guns, that just won't fit, obviously. Well, I could do it like this, actually. That's interesting. Didn't. There we go. So that's a lot of 4-inch guns. And this might be what we end up doing. I mean, it's got 21 knots is okay. This is going to kill the hell out of small ships. It's kind of heavy in the back, but we can fix that. And we want to probably lower some of these decks here. Now the problem is these 4-inch guns don't have a lot of armor. So there is a chance that they're going to get smacked. And that's the downside, but we can squeeze a lot of them on. So oh, then we gotta scooch this gun forward maybe a little bit. Well, that's going to be a little hard to adjust. Can we squeeze you back a bit? There we go. I don't like having... Maybe I can adjust this one instead. That's got a really good fire arc that I like. So do I trade this fire arc or do I trade the other fire arc? think I... There we go. So that's pretty good right there. That gets the ship all balanced out, and it's nice and fast. I can add more armor to it. These casemates can get a lot of armor. It's surprising. These guns on top are a little bit vulnerable, and that's going to be a problem, but maybe it won't be too bad. Then from here, we try going double hull. That'll help. Now we got to take this gun back. There we go. Get that balanced out again. So we still have some tonnage left. So let's go 21.2. We can go 22 knots. We're going to lose some engine efficiency, but maybe it's not a bad thing because we're getting some speed. And we could try to... Well, let's see how much faster we can go. 22.2, 22.4. We could also try sticking on more secondary guns, but there aren't really any places to put them. So that's not really viable. I could try increasing... $22.5. My 23 is right out. Well, actually, 22.8. I mean, the engine efficiency kind of sucks at this point. We still have good range. Now, the other option is I could always go 22 knots, and we could try to increase the range. And that might be the better idea on these things, and make these things just kind of longer ranged cruisers. But these guys are going to be generally attached to my fleets, so I don't know if I need the
downside is that only gets one more broadside 4-incher than that little
I know
1,000-tonner does.
I mean, I can go 21.7 knots and maximum range, and this could be... I mean, that's you know, pretty long range ship. Now, do I need it to have long range? Realistically, I'm going to be using these more for invading. You know, these are going to be more like invasion ships and stuff. They're not really going to be raiding the same way that my existing light cruisers are, so it may not be that big of a deal. I don't know. What do you think, JP? Go for the range or go for the speed?
If you're going to operate the fleet rather than with you know, on their own, match them to the battleship's speed.
Yeah.
And take more.
Yeah, because the newer battleships, I'm trying to make like 22 knots.
What's the max speed you can get out of this? 21?
This I can get. I think I can get 23 knots. If I go So
Go 21 or 22, and then take the rest in range.
I'm gonna go 22.8 knots, and you know, that's not bad. If I go 22 and some range, I can get it up there pretty good. Now I do want to try and balance you again. Of course, tweaking the there we go. So that got it balanced. And then I guess I'll stick it into conning tower. It's about as good as we're gonna... There we go. That's not bad. I mean, the engine efficiency's lacking a little bit. I think it'll get better when I develop the turbines. But we've got a really good range. It's not bad, and it's fast. It's 22 knots.
Good speed, good range. That's two of the factors you're wanting.
Yeah, because I'm going to be using these with my fleets for invading like secondary nations and whatnot. I want them to be able to run away from stuff. So this isn't bad. All right, here's my pretty good light cruiser. Let's just double check, make sure I didn't do anything dumb. Yeah, we got everything. Everything's there. All right, pretty good light cruiser. Maybe that's what I'll call it.